So I'm reading a great book, and the book is called Excommunicated, The Rebel Without a Shul. And I'm reading from page 55 of the blessed chapter, Playpen of the Damned, talking about kind of falling out with Dennis Prager, friends we had in common, my falling out with Asia Torah, Young Israel Century City, and many of my Orthodox friends in Pico Robertson. So I've absorbed my loss of community in my body, and my posture is worse than ever. Unlike my silly porn feuds, this loss is real, and I am completely unprepared. By polluting the innocent, I've added another kink to my back. I walk slumped over, my shoulders sagging under the weight of my sins. So I'm writing this well before I ever heard of Alexander Technique. But even then, without knowing anything about Alexander Technique, I understood that our body reflects our thinking and our emotions. And I don't think it's as helpful to think in terms of one causing the other, but rather as a circle. Our thinking affects our emotions, which affects our body. Our thinking affects our body. Our alignment and use of the body affects our thinking. Our thinking and alignment and use of the body affects our emotions. Our emotions affect our thinking and our alignment and use of the body. So with every emotion, there's a particular alignment of the body. And so unless you're aligned in a certain way, you cannot feel that emotion. For instance, as long as I'm poised, it's very difficult for me to feel contempt, anger, disgust, depression. Like if I'm up here, I feel hopeful. Remember watching this Charlie Brown cartoon where he's telling Lucy, if you really want to get something out of feeling depressed, you can't stand up like this, then the feeling goes away. You have to just go like this and be all depressed. Then that reinforces the feeling of depression. Now, this isn't 100% true at every instance. You will get feelings of anxiety, depression, despair, but no matter how poised you get, you still have those feelings. So I'm feeling pretty good right now because I just secured a $1,000 loan from my family. So that's going to help me get through my Alexander Technique teacher training. But today I was feeling pretty glum. And when my Alexander Technique teacher was working on me, she picked it up that what was going on. So she asked me what's going on. They said, that I'll ask my family for a loan this afternoon. And she said, that's why you're feeling glum. So Alexander Technique teachers will often want to know what you're thinking, what you're feeling, help them better understand what's going on with your body. And they're not therapists. They're not doing therapy. They're helping to show you techniques where you can use yourself better. So anyway, how was I holding my glumness? I was holding it like this. It's kind of, my shoulders were slumped in, and she helped me feel more room and space in my shoulders. And as she did that, my glumness kind of went away, and I found more width in my back and more length in my back. Women often find when they study Alexander Technique that their back widens, and so they need a new bras, changes their bra size, and it lifts their breasts. So the back widens, the torso lengthens, head goes up, and then it goes forward. What does it mean in Alexander speak that the head goes forward and up? It means that the head in relation to the neck is forward. It's not like this, where you're compressing the neck and going back and shortening your stature. Instead, you're going up, and the head is just forward of the neck. That's the ideal position, the position of mechanical advantage, because the head weighs about 15 pounds. So if you're misusing your head, if you're tipping back, if you're compressing your neck, you've got 15 pounds, like the weight of a bowling ball, just pulling on your back. And if your neck and head-neck relationship is all screwed up and your neck is tight, then that's going to affect the whole rest of your body. So it's important to think up, think the head forward in relation to the neck. Also think about the shoulders broadening, floating out, torso lengthening and widening. So I was coming out of my Alexander technique class yesterday, caught this girl and said, I'm going to be gentle with myself this afternoon. And it's a phrase I don't think I've ever used before, and I've never really understood what it meant to be gentle with yourself. I've often had therapists tell me to be gentle with myself, to be a good friend to myself. And I never really was able to get it. I was able to understand it intellectually, maybe practice it somewhat, but I didn't really get it because my use of my body was so contorted that I've had difficulty accessing those softer, gentler, more nurturing emotions. So now that my use has improved, suddenly I understand what it's like to be gentle with yourself. Almost everybody who studies Alexander technique and practices it for any length of time experiences a greater feeling of tranquility. And you start feeling more freedom, more emotional freedom, and you get a lot more access to your quieter and gentler emotions. I'm often a compulsive talker, and I feel the need to crack jokes and to entertain and to provoke. And through studying Alexander technique, I'm much less compulsive, much less habitual in my habits and practices, and I have greater freedom in my body, in my use of my body, and then in my emotions and in my thinking. Overall, more freedom, and I have more access to my gentler emotions, greater feeling of tranquility, and I'm able to be gentle with myself. I was under the weather this weekend, so now it's about 4 days in, and I am steadily feeling better. But still, I'm going to be gentle with myself. And for the first time, I kind of feel what it means to be gentle with myself. And if you can learn to be gentle with yourself, it's a lot easier to be gentle with other people. Much of the time, I've treated myself with contempt, with loathing, with self-hatred, and I've treated other people with contempt, loathing, and hatred, and anger. And so now I'm more tranquil, I'm more gentle with myself, more gentle with other people, I think.